So we have seen that the terrestrial plants can be further divided into plants that grow in the plains, plants that grow in the mountains, and now we are going to talk about plants that grow in the deserts. So the ground in deserts is very dry. There is very little water as it rains very rarely. Yet plants live and survive. There are certain plants that survive in these dry areas. Their roots are adapted to absorb whatever amount of water is available. So the roots of these plants are able to absorb whatever amount of water is available. Plants like cactus of many kinds have roots that are spread far out, first under the surface of the soil. So the plant that survives in a desert is the cactus plant, and the cactus plants have roots that are spread out far and under the surface of the soil. They can quickly catch even the smallest amount of water. So the roots of the cactus plant is adapted in such a way that it is able to quickly catch even the smallest amount of water. Desert plants normally have small leaves. So desert plants normally have small leaves, unlike the plants or trees in the plains and in the mountains. The leaves of cactus are like sharp spines. So we've seen that the leaves of plants that grow in the mountains are needle shaped, and the leaves of cactus are like sharp spines. This prevents loss of water. This prevents loss of water from the leaves. So these spines, so instead of leaves they have spines, and these spines prevent loss of water. The cactus plant stores food and water in its thick and fleshy stem. So the cactus plant store food and water in its thick and fleshy stems covered with thorns. When there is no rain, the cactus uses the water in its stem. Cactus grows flowers too. So in case there is no rain, the cactus uses the water that is already stored in its stem, and cactuses have flowers too. So the cactus is the only plant that can survive in a desert, and it has roots that are spread out far and wide and can catch even the smallest amount of water, and they have small leaves, and the leaves are in the shape of spines. This spines prevents the loss of water from the leaves. The cactus plant stores food and water in its stem, and when there is no rain, it makes use of the water stored in its stem. Cactus grows flowers too. Moving on to the next is plants that grow in swamps. There are some places that have clayey soil and plenty of water. So there are certain places that have plenty of water and clayey soil. But since water cannot drain away, it collects on the ground. But the water in these areas cannot drain away, but it gets collected in the ground. Mangrove trees grow in small marshy places or swamps, and mangrove trees are the only trees that can survive or grow in these marshy places or swamps. In such areas, roots of the plant grow above the ground so as to breathe. So in the case of these plants, the roots of the plants grow above the ground so that they can breathe. This is because they are not able to breathe under the soil. Because of the presence of excess of water in these areas, the roots are not able to breathe if they are underground, so they grow above the ground. Such roots are called aerial or breathing roots. So such type of roots are called aerial or breathing roots because the roots grow above the ground. So plants in these swampy places, so these swampy places have clayey soil and plenty of water, but because the water cannot be drained away, it collects on the ground. So mangrove trees are the only trees that grow in these marshy places or swamps. And in these areas, the roots of the trees grow above the ground in order to breathe. because if the roots grow underground, they are not able to breathe. So they grow above the ground, and hence those roots are known as aerial or breathing roots.